Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode number 7 of the Fanboys Anonymous Group Meeting Podcast. I am your host, the owner of fanboysanonymous.com, Tony Mango, and with me on the panel, we have 3 of the fanboys with me, including Ronnie Brown.
Hey, hey.
Eddie Siqueira.
Yeah, I'm the bass player.
And Braeden Mayhew.
Thank you very much for introducing me, Tony. I also believe that this is the very first time that I'm actually involved in a group meeting.
It might be. Maybe it might have been one of the ones before where YouTube decided fuck our channel and got rid of us.
It might have been. I maybe did one more, but I can't really remember if I did or not. So if not, this is basically an inauguration to the group meetings.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And since this is not a movie review that people will get upset about because it's not the movie, and then YouTube will get upset because it's not the movie, but then claim it's copyright issue.
Yeah, I forget. Wasn't that whole thing over Wolverine or something like that?
Yeah, and actually you can find the Wolverine podcast. That was one of the few that I was able to keep.
Well, thankfully there's no Wolverine game that we can talk about, and then they'll think that there's game footage in it, and they'll get pissed off when they see it's really just a group discussion.
Oh man, imagine when we talk about Star Wars.
Oh
man.
That might be too much for people. I'll end up getting Mickey Mouse showing up at my door. Ha fuck your YouTube channel. Now that I'm joking about that, it's gonna happen. I know it. And then I'll try to contact Google, and they'll be like, "Yeah, that number that you called, go to google.com instead."
No, you just get a letter
forum.
In the mail. You just get a letter in the mail, but the UPS guy will be wearing Mickey Mouse ears.
Just for our help forum, maybe one of our moderators can answer your very complex question with a vague answer that leads to nowhere.
Right.
And just keep doing that over and over again. Jeez.
So, what we're going to talk about this episode, if it doesn't get taken down from YouTube, that is, now that the meeting has officially been called to order, is the E3 conference. And now I'm going to preface this with one little note. If you've been following the podcast that we've been doing, not only just the group meeting ones, but also Review Point, Fan Tracks, For Real Movie Club, etc., you guys should know by now that I am predominantly in the movie and comic book side of things, and not necessarily even the comic books themselves, but more so the superhero genre and movies for everything. Games are one of those few things where I'm not too into the inside stuff. I very rarely get a chance to play games, mostly because I'm too busy, and when I have the free time to do other stuff, I focus that on movies. But E3 is one of those huge things, and obviously video games is, I would say, the number 1 or number 2 main topic for fanboys. We can't go by without talking about E3. And thankfully, everybody else on this panel will be able to help me out here, and I won't sound like a complete jackass. But
complete.
Yeah, that complete is the word to put out there, because I'm sure the people listening to this will be like, that moderator doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
That moderator was a partial
he's
jackass.
Going in blind.
Right, and you are right. Because there's going to be a couple things I'll be able to talk about, but the majority of this, you're going to be getting a lot of questions from me, and you're going to go, God, he doesn't know that and stuff. So, put all the blame on me. Don't put it on anybody else. Don't put it on the fanboys, because a lot of fanboys could not join in on this podcast. And whether you're Michelle Quillen, who is super into E3, you're Sean Walker, there's a lot of other people that really wanted to join in on this, and they could have talked for hours, I'm sure.
No doubt.
So if you want to know what those guys think about this as well, go to fanboysanonymous.com, check out, see what they might be writing about for this week, next week, etc. And stay tuned to, everything coming their way. But we're the ones on the podcast for this episode, so we're the ones going to be talking about these things. And we're going to just throw random stuff out there and see where it takes us. If we talk about a particular game for a while, then we talk about a particular game for a while. We might not touch upon everything, but hey, we'll try to knock out the big ones at very least.
Yeah, hit the big highlights of the overall event.
So I want to throw one game out there right now that I actually can talk about, and that to me is either the number 1 or the number 2 highlight from what I've paid attention to for E3. Arkham Knight. Let's just get right into it. Batman is my favorite comic book character, and the Batman movies, the TV show, etc., are some of my favorite things out there. So whenever there are superhero video games, they're things that I tend to pay a lot of attention to. And for the video games that I can't play, I get a chance to usually watch a Let's Play on YouTube. And I'll throw a little reference out there to somebody. DSP Gaming is usually the guy that I check out. Phil is fucking hilarious. So go check out Phil's channel. Um, I have not been able to play the Arkham games, but that has not stopped me at all from being completely encapsulated by these. They're just awesome. They are the perfect kind of thing you would see from Batman fans, what they would want. So Arkham Knight, they pull out a trailer, they show off the Batmobile, which is something I've been craving for in a video game for the longest time, ever since Spider-Man 2, where you had the free roam stuff. I was always like, Batman would be a perfect game for this, and you could get the Batmobile, and you could have instead of random gangs, you could have like Two-Face's gang and all that. These games, they pull that crap off to such a phenomenal level, and Arkham Knight looks like it's taken it even further, and I'm super excited to see that. What do you guys think about the Arkham Knight thing? Is that something that you guys are really into playing? Did you play the other ones? Did Origins kind of go, I'm not really, I'm a little bit soured on the series now? Let's go around in a circle here. Ronnie, what do you think about Arkham Knight?
I think it looks amazing. I am so excited for it because I have loved the Arkham games. I loved Arkham Asylum. When I got to Arkham Origins, it was good, but since Rocksteady didn't develop it, then my expectations were slightly lowered. So it wasn't a bad game by any means. But now that Rocksteady is back behind the wheel again, it just looks spectacular. I can't wait to get my hands on that one.
How about that freaking Batmobile? Doesn't that look sweet?
So fucking awesome.
What I'm really excited for personally about this one is that it looks like Scarecrow is going to be the kind of like the main villain of the entire game based on the trailer. And I don't know if he's really had a role at all in the previous 3 games. I kind of think they've hinted at him with Easter eggs you could kind of find in game. But he's never really been the main villain that one of these games has been built around. And he's one of my favorites from the Batman series, so that greatly intrigues me in terms of where the story could go.
They had him as kind of like a B or C level villain in Arkham Asylum, and there's just like a quick reference to him in Arkham City. But that's like one of those little Easter egg things. But now he looks like he's really on the forefront, and he looks badass too. Like you look at Cillian Murphy in the Christopher Nolan movie, and he's just like dude with a sack on his head. Which, great movie, but that Scarecrow does not compare to this at all, where he's got needles on his hands and there's messed up teeth and all that. What else do you think about that, Braeden?
The game looks amazing as usual. They've always had pretty great graphics. I mean, it really kind of showed that not all video games based on comic books can be a bust. It really showed that when a good developer gets a story, even if it's predetermined, they can develop something great. And as it stands, I think this Batman Arkham series is probably the most well-received gaming series based on any superhero franchise ever. So it's always something to look forward to. Rocksteady's done a great job, and it's great to see them back in charge of a new game. I'm sure it's going to be great.
I don't know about the most well-received. That's Superman 64. That's pretty up there.
That's Superman. Definitely.
That was the pinnacle of gaming. It's all been downhill since then.
Yeah, picking up a block of a car, and that's what I wanted to do with a Superman game.
Invisible walls every 3 feet.
Fly through rings that mean nothing at all.
Yeah, shit. Like, why didn't they do that in Zack Snyder's new movie? It's like, where are the rings, dude? Come on.
Superman. They might as well have based the movie off of that game. I mean, it would have won an Oscar for crying out loud. Best screenplay.
What do you think about Arkham Knight, Eddie?
Here's the thing. Like you, I have not had the pleasure of playing any of the Arkham Knight stuff. I'll say this though. I agree with Braeden, and I don't think there's ever been a superhero game that's had this much credibility. I mean, in terms of feel, gameplay, the atmosphere, the immersion. That's the new word nowadays that everybody's trying to get into. You know, the gameplay is 290s. Immersion it's all about immersion nowadays, and the game just captures you. You know, I've seen forgive my lapse of memory here, but what's the first Arkham? Is it Arkham Asylum?
Yep.
Yeah, right. It was Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. Yeah, that's it.
Origins.
Yeah.
There you go. And honestly, it's just I've seen improvements, obvious graphics improvements, but a little bit everything is just getting better and better and better. I think technology is finally, you know, I think for movies also, as long as we're talking about the movies briefly, I think Batman finally got what he deserved in a good way. Because although I think the Tim Burton stuff was awesome in the, you know, Batman Returns, I think if, you know, we're finally being able to see superheroes as they were meant to be in video games and in movies, and I have nothing but good stuff to look forward to with this new Batman game. As far as the villains, dude, Batman is just, he's badass. He's got badass villains to fight. So it could be Scarecrow. It could be, I don't know. I don't care. Pick some obscure one. They're all awesome.
Well, and let's not forget the new one, the titular character, the Arkham Knight, that Rocksteady worked with DC to create. So this will be a brand new villain.
And everybody is sitting there going, I wonder who it is. And it's like, they keep saying it's a brand new villain. And they're like, oh, it's got to be the Joker. And they're like, they keep saying it's brand new. I know that they do that sometimes. Like, you know, no matter how many times you ask them before Dark Knight Rises, you're like, so, Marion, you're playing Talia, right? And she's like, no, I'm not. I guarantee you I'm not Talia. I'm working with the same people that said the person's name's John Harrison, not Khan. Like, it turns out she's Talia and all that. So there's a possibility that Arkham Knight could just be, you know, Joker in that costume. Or some people are saying that maybe it's Quincy Sharp because he is an original character. So you could kind of fudge the numbers a little bit there.
The Joker's like Darth Vader in the Star Wars universe. You know, there's a Joker in Batman, there's Darth Vader in Star Wars. What you gonna do?
Meanwhile, the new Star Wars movie doesn't look like it's gonna have Darth Vader in it. But
well, that's like your opinion, man. I want to believe.
Believe until like the end credits, because at least with Phantom Menace.
Or do you think that, you know, like thousands of people won't line up dressed in Darth Vader to watch the new Star Wars movies?
I'm only curious about the ones
Darth
that
Vader,
dress
I guarantee
up as Princess Leia. Those are the ones I want to see.
Oh.
Not
yeah,
the.
I can't believe I didn't think of that. Yeah. I'm ashamed of myself.
The Arkham Knight thing, they didn't really talk too much about the character. They kind of are still keeping that in the dark. They mostly showed off the Batmobile, which does look pretty cool. But one thing that they did do about the Arkham Knight character that I saw that they kind of incorporated it in with the Batmobile gameplay was they said that the Arkham Knight had drone tanks that he was controlling. And throughout the game, Batman can blow the fuck out of them because there's no humans in it. So it's like you don't have to worry about, you know, murdering people because Batman doesn't do that. So whoever the Arkham Knight is, the character, whether he's somebody from the comics, you know, they're bringing back Condiment King or something like that. Whoever he is, he's got access to quite a bit of equipment. So I don't know. I'm still going with the idea that he's not going to be a brand new character. Despite that, I still think we're seeing maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say that they're just going to copy the whole thing with Hush, but we'll see what happens with that. They did announce that Scarecrow is the main villain. They clarified that. They showed a little bit of the gameplay. They talked about how, you know, you're going to have racing missions with the Riddler now. So that's a way to get the Batmobile involved. And somebody had asked the question that I'm sure a lot of people were wondering with the Batmobile, where it was like, all right, can I run people over? And they're like, no, they jump out of the way. So it's like it's not Grand Theft Auto. It's
challenge accepted.
Right. Now you're gonna have to try to, like, before they run out of the way, shoot a missile or something and kill them at the same time.
Yeah, like just create a little barricade so they can't escape. Corner them. That'll be my first day with the Batmobile, just trying to kill somebody. And then you get a game over screen. Batman doesn't kill people.
Right. It's like, you are not Batman. Batman does not kill. Unless he has reasonable doubt to say, like, well, I didn't really kill him, did I? I just
named him.
Die.
I
There's no
paralyzed
doubt.
him.
I don't know, man. At that point, just make it like Batman, like a Judge Dredd Batman kind of thing, where it's like, should I kill you? Yes, it's justified. You know, like
Just like the Burton
I
films.
am the law. You know, like here in Gotham.
Just do the Burton films. He killed people in that. He straps a bomb to somebody and he's just like, here, hold this while you blow up.
Yeah, but it was one of the Red Triangle Circus gang, so
Yeah.
it doesn't technically, technically.
So speaking of Grand Theft Auto, that'll move us into that topic. They announced that GTA 5 is coming to Xbox One, PS4, and PC. So the people that haven't gotten a chance to play that yet because they didn't have those consoles, there you go. Good stuff, I guess.
Yeah, considering I know a good few amount of my own friends were holding out specifically for a PC version of the game.
Really?
Yeah, they prefer to play it on PC than a console.
I would think
So,
if they had the console, they would just bite the bullet and do it, you know?
Yeah, I know. My friend, they all have like Xbox 360s, but they're all waiting for GTA 5 to come out on PC. I guess they kind of like the experience more, I suppose. That's for some people. I prefer it. But yeah, that's
The
great
graphics are
news for
definitely
them.
better. If they have the proper PC for it, the graphics are definitely better. So
Oh yeah, and they do for sure. They have way better PCs for gaming than I'll probably ever have. So
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
that's that.
Likewise, I'm on a computer right now that running Skype and a Skype recorder, a couple other programs, and I bet you if I put like too many tabs open, it'll slow the whole damn thing down.
Hey, open solitaire, see if it blows up.
It'll blow up when you win the level, and it does that whole shuffle into the deck thing.
Oh God.
Then it'll freeze, and you'll be able to drag it and get that weird gray background like you used to be able to do in Windows 95 and shit.
Flashbacks.
Those are the PCs. We need to make Grand Theft Auto for Windows 95. It'll have the graphics of Frogger.
So kids, when we were little, we played solitaire on our computers, and we thought we were the coolest kids in the world.
Well, if you
Mine's
were really
Siqueira.
cool, if you were really cool and you could figure out how to get that fucking pinball game up,
Oh, that pinball game! Oh my God.
I love this Space Cadet.
that's what it was called. I was gonna call it Cosmic Pinball. I couldn't remember.
Space Cadet 3D pinball.
First thing you do, get rid of the goddamn music on that because that was terrible. Oh man, flashbacks.
Yep.
Too many flashbacks. I'm too old. Any other things you guys want to talk about when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 5? I've only heard great things about it. I never got a chance to play it. I haven't played any game since Vice City.
I got to play a little bit on the PS3, and I did like it a lot. I thought it was really cool, but I mean, I didn't play it enough to really have a full-fledged opinion about it.
I haven't played a GTA game since GTA 4, so I have not played the fifth one at all. But it looks pretty expansive, like the biggest one they've ever done in terms of where you can go, what you can do.
It's a giant sandbox.
That's still just it amazes me. And maybe it's because I'm outside of the gaming community, so I'm not used to these things where people go like, oh, you know, the graphics are, you know, compared to this game and all that. And I'm like, man, my heyday of playing video games was like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, back before we had Game Boy Color, that kind of stuff. So to me, this stuff is just ridiculous. Like, I remember seeing commercials and trailers and stuff for Grand Theft Auto 5, and I was just like, you mean to tell me you've got a fucking game like Vice City that I'm used to, where you can fucking go anywhere in the game, and you can ride any of the cars, and you can just do whatever, and that alone is impressive from somebody that used to, you know, play the old Game Boy games. But now it's like, oh, you can just like fly a plane, you can go swimming, you can play golf, it's like
You can even have sex.
you could do so much crap in these games where you're like, you used to just make like a golf game and you were like, yo, you could barely do anything in that game except for, you know, putt.
Lee Carvello's putting challenge.
And now it's like, let's just make a golf game in the middle of Grand Theft Auto 5. And you don't.
Yeah, but that's
like,
the thing, man. That's the thing. It's you know, like they say that you know a robot can beat a human in chess, right?
Mhm.
And then as technology improves, as you get faster processors, as you get more RAM or whatever else is needed, you get to join these different tasks. And a computer can be absolutely the best at one thing, and then if you know with enough time, you can program it to be really good at two things. And that's what's happening. I mean, you have one golf game where basically you have like I don't know like um, I don't know how many lines of code or programming, but honestly, like a golf game is bullshit nowadays.
Right.
I mean, they waste more time capturing the proper motion with the athletes and the proper graphics and all that than with the actual programming of the game itself, the physics itself. I mean, they have that kind of stuff figured out by now. I mean, if you play any EA sports games, I mean, the physics rarely changes. I mean, it's all about the control and how much they can innovate with the controls and change that. Lines of programming are not. They don't add too many or take away too many. You know, it depends on the engine, I guess. But GTA 5, it took a team of thousands of people, from marketing to visual to audio to licensing music to whatever.
It's just
So I mean, it's
insanity.
just but it basically the simple golf game is there because it's a simple golf game. It's easy. It's just I mean, everything's already there graphically. So just just the motion of the character is there. Just it's I don't know. I wish I could get. I wish I knew how to explain this more technically, but at the same time more logically. It's easy to make a racing game within those games. It's easy to make a sports game within those games. You know, it's like it's sandbox, man, sandbox.
I'm like, I had a sandbox when I was a kid. Like,
There you go. You
Well,
build a castle or a tunnel.
Just remember, we went from Pong to Grand Theft Auto 5.
I
right.
don't know how old you are, man, but I went from like uh, Ninja Turtles 2 until that.
Turtles in Time.
That was
No, that was 4. That was
Oh.
Ninja Turtles 4.
I love Turtles in Time. That was awesome.
That was one of my favorites.
Which,
Yeah, it was awesome.
if we're taking a sidebar here when it's talking about Ninja Turtles games, how fucking hard is that first game? That is
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
but it was stupid. It wasn't by Konami. It was by Ultra Games, right?
That was just a ridiculous game. That goddamn water level. I don't know, like
No, there was
anybody
a
that
level that
beat
was kind
that
of like
level.
a maze, wasn't there?
Like bombs and somehow there's like electric seaweed because that happens. And
Yeah.
oh man, that game. Fuck that game.
I'm sure you
Yeah,
loved the
two was awesome.
AVGN review of it if you ever watched that.
Oh, I haven't, but I guarantee that's got to be fucking hilarious because
Oh yeah,
that's one of the most frustrating games I've ever been a part
I
of.
think
Oh,
it's one
just,
of the most frustrating of its generation. That game pissed off tons of people.
Nintendo hard.
And you know what? Today, people would say, and nowadays, the criteria for saying something sucks is if it's too hard. Back then, it was just like, oh, the game was just too hard. It doesn't necessarily suck, but maybe just back then there was no criteria for does it suck or is it hard?
Well, then you'd
Yeah.
hear stories of like, my cousin's friend knows a guy who beat the game, and like
That's exactly what I heard.
it'd be the same thing as like with the old Pokemon games, where it's like, no, I swear, there's this guy who knows this guy,
Well,
knows this
my
guy that
cousin's
moved the truck and
friend's
got Mew.
neighbor actually got a Mew.
Yeah,
Right?
he said you could catch Peekaboo. I swear. No, I saw it, dude. I saw it in the game. Like, it was at a Jackass the playground. I guarantee you, I got it, dude. I just don't have my game with me right now. I've got
Yeah, I
Pika-Flare.
forgot it at home today.
Right?
Oh, my mom took my Game Boy away, so I can't show you.
Yeah. Nah, see, I was gonna bring it in, but then my little brother he erased the game, so I gotta go back, and it
Yeah,
might take a
my
while.
dog peed on my Game Boy. I'm sorry.
It might take until like the next gen game for me to be able to get it again. Let's see.
Just a quick to put a pin on the Ninja Turtle stuff. Turtles 4, Turtles in Time was actually it got a what do you call it, like a makeover or like a HD whatever makeover kind of. And,
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
called
on
Reshelled.
Steam.
Yeah, I
What?
think so. It's called Reshelled or something.
Yeah, something like that. I think it's on Steam, isn't it?
I believe so. I downloaded it on Xbox 360 years ago. It's no longer up, but because I downloaded it before it got taken down, I still have it.
You lucky. But yeah, is it as good as the original, or just brand new graphics, or?
It's I mean, I haven't even touched it in years, so I don't remember specifics, but it was still fun, but just nothing compares to the original. Partly because of the nostalgia factor, I'm sure, but
I guess.
just nothing compares to that. Which, by the way, I made the stupidest trade of my life back when I was a kid. I mean, it was only temporary, but I traded my friend Turtles in Time because he wanted to play it with his brother for the Aladdin game on Super Nintendo.
Oh God,
And that game, I beat it, but and then it's like, well, all right, what the fuck do I do now? And and I finally got my Turtles in Time back, and I was like, I am the stupidest kid in the world. Never doing that again.
God,
Wait. You beat it? How the hell did you beat that carpet level and lava shit?
That lava level?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that alone probably took like weeks, but I know I beat it.
There you go.
I'm one of those kids, I would show you, but my data got erased.
Okay. Are you sure it wasn't your cousin?
No, it wasn't. It might have. No, it wasn't. My cousin's friend's brother told me how to beat that level.
See, the trick for that level is you need to get Peekaboo and you need to get rid of all the lava by squirting out water with Bubble Beam.
You also need a cousin. Very important to have a cousin.
That's
Every story
one.
revolves around a cousin that did it.
Yeah.
Because it's perfect, like you can't say brother or sister. People can verify that, but when it's a cousin, none of your friends on the
guy who lives
schoolyard.
way over in Washington, it's like, I'm not sure.
I still-
And back then there was no Facebook or whatever, so it was like you had to write a letter. And make sure
Or call people on the phone, which is the most terrifying experience when you might have to speak to their parents. So you would call them and be like, is Jimmy home?
God forbid to speak to your parents, man.
Is Jimmy home? I really want to ask him if his cousin of mine, who's a friend of mine, if he really got Peekaboo.
What the fuck are you kids talking about?
Is that Pokemon's?
Are you kids taking drugs?
Well,
This
speaking
is in
of
no way
Pokemon,
going to segue into a new Turtles game revealed at E3, by the way, folks.
no, this is actually going to segue into a new Pokemon game. They announced Pokemon Art Academy. Now, I didn't get a chance to check out a trailer or anything that was going on with this, but it seemed to me like it was just one of those offshoot, like Pokemon Snap kind of things where nobody really gives a shit about it.
It is, and they also announced Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which are practically 3DS ports, just Ruby and Sapphire touched up with slightly better handheld graphics.
I still have not played X and Y.
I have not played that either. So
I
don't have a
really
3DS.
enjoyed them.
It looks great.
They don't make emulators of 3DS, do they?
I wish. But,
Well, I guess
Actually,
I'm not
hang
playing
on. They do.
Oh, well, maybe I will play
There
X
was
and
one,
Y.
but it's not like there's a button that acts as like you touching the screen. It's kind of weird because I wanted to try out I'm a big Assassin's Creed buff. I'm not gonna go into Assassin's Creed right now, but I actually found this Assassin's Creed game where it's a side story of Altair where he goes to Cyprus or something, and I really wanted to try it out to find out more about the story and then play it actually, and the emulator was just okay, you have to map the buttons where you would touch the screen, but how do I touch the thing that I need to touch if it's weird and I don't know, I couldn't figure it out.
Well, the Alpha, what was it? Alpha Omega, not that. Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Is that what it is? Or
Yeah.
is it the opposite? I don't know. Whatever it is. Ruby and Sapphire are the two things that helped ruin the franchise as far as I'm concerned. I loved Gold and Silver. Ruby Sapphire came out. I'm like, what the hell is this?
And they're being reported.
And they're going to probably keep up the whole Mega Evolution thing that I've been hearing about, which I think is kind of ridiculous. The Art Academy, though, seems like that's what the hell was the name of that other game? That Mystery Dungeon or something? Or,
that weird spin-off game.
Yeah, it seems like another one of those side quest kind of things. Oh, you know what was another terrible game? Speaking of those side quest games, that Pokemon trading card video game.
That game was the hardest fucking game.
Is it hard? Is it hard or does it suck? Who knows?
Both.
Well, by today's standards, the game fucking sucks. But
Okay.
by in terms of difficulty. But that fucking game, I'd never beaten it. I even tried. I'd say about a year or so ago, I went back and tried to play it, and you just reach a certain point where I swear they cheat. The computers cheat because it's not possible to beat them ever.
You know what that means? The computers me, because I used to cheat at the game all the time.
Well, do you actually play the trading card game? Do you actually battle with the cards?
No, but I claimed that I did. I used to go to the trading card things at Toys R Us, and they would do you get 1 point for every game that you lose and 2 points for every game that you win. So I would just go up to people and I'd hustle them and I'd be like, yo, why don't we just say that we had a match and that you won? You'll get the 2 points, I'll get the 1. I'm like working out a deal. Go up to the person, yeah, we just had a match. Yeah, that was a really fast one. Yeah. Yeah, he beat me. He
Brought
goes,
out that Charizard.
They're like, oh, you got 3 badges in a day. How'd you pull that off?
Well, see, my cousin taught me how to do this trick.
My cousin's best friend's brother.
He has a special card that makes him win at every game. So, did anybody pay any attention to the Pokemon Art Academy? 'Cause
I just kind of watched the footage and said, okay, it's Pokemon Art Academy.
Just
and
one of those
moved on.
pass
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good summary.